Welcome to TORAH Talk. I'm your host, William Hall, broadcasting live out of Kingsland, Texas, USA, with episode number 82 of Rabbi Tovia Singers. Let's get biblical Q&A. Let's get started with this handsome rabbi. Rabbi, good morning to you, good evening, and good night. How are you? I stole your line.
I don't know. I'm totally confused now.
It's like, man,
good morning, good evening, good night. Good.
It's like, do I drink coffee? Do I drink milk? What do we do now? Okay, next step, please. Wow, it's good to see you again. It's been a great week. Man, hopefully y'all will be able to hear a little better sound in the studio now. I've got foam all over the walls. Thank you. Yes, it's wonderful. See, the good thing about having foam all over your walls in the studio, there's two major benefits. Number one is if you go crazy, you don't have to worry about hurting yourself. And number two, if you get tired, you can simply just take a nap. Okay, moving on. So that would be a trick. I would like to see. Oh, that's what I forgot.
Can I just do this with you? I think it's important for our roles to be well defined. I'm the funny one in the show, not you. So if you're the straight guy. You're the
This steady and serious one.
Or else we'll go out of business. So I don't want to lose customers. As it is, we probably lost at least 5% of our listeners.
It's highly probable. So, but I bet you they're all going to go put padding in their walls now. Hey, but I
will tell you this.
Yes.
Once you convert to Judaism, you're going to get much funnier.
That's awesome. Oh, man. Okay. One thing I was going to add to that tonight, I was going to put straps on the walls, so you buckle yourself in. Yeah. Like in a spaceship, you see how they sleep standing up in those little capsules. That'd be pretty cool. I'd have to have mine with like a wine dispenser, like in between there from the ceiling. You just pull it like the old style toilets. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they got the tank hanging on the ceiling, and it's like you just simply pull the chain and all that gravity.
I have no idea
bam.
what's going. All I heard is
really
a string and a toilet. That's all I heard. I don't know.
Oh boy!
How much coffee did you drink?
What's funny? Maybe that's the problem. I haven't had any, and usually, I guess coffee may have an adverse effect on me. I suppose. Don't know why.
No. Don't in your state. Don't drink coffee. If you drank coffee now, you would run onto Interstate 35 and start chasing cars. So try.
Oh man!
If this is you without coffee.
That's funny. At least if I chase moving cars, I have a less chance of getting hurt. Parked ones those are killers for sure.
Yeah.
Let me type in here. 11.
All right.
Okay.
Tell everybody the phone.
Logging into the phone lines now, and it is officially open. 855-952-4253 number is on your screen. The phone lines are open. Let's see. Make sure I got the music down so I can play that phone call without hearing music in the background. Okay, we're good to go. Translates to 855-952-4253. Please do call in with your questions.
Say that a little faster, because I don't. If you really do that, okay.
That's funny. That's funny. You know what's really strange? My stepdad, to this day, for some reason, I know his Social Security number. I know it, and I have no idea why. It's just it's one of those imprinted things stuck in my head, and it's kind of creepy in a way. So anyway, all right, cool. Well, actually, the phone lines are open. We do have a couple messages that were left here from last week. Let's see, but we'll get to those soon, apparently. All right, welcome to the show. This is I guess you know who this is. Tell us your name, where you're calling from. Sir, timestamp.
Hello, William.
Yes, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Sorry, I was just replying to a comment on Facebook. I didn't expect you to pick up that quick.
Oh, that's okay. Go ahead. What's your question for Rabbi?
I have a really odd question. Well, it's not really odd. Deuteronomy. By the way, my name's Luke, and I'm calling from England.
Thank you, Luke. I was just fixing to ask you.
Great.
That's awesome.
I love callers who are named after the New Testament. So I really appreciate that.
7, I believe. It's basically...
okay.
I mean, I've been looking at you've got the 10 Commandments. You've also got the 613. But it was basically in there. It says you shouldn't do things with idolatry. Burn the cities down and all the rest of it. But it says. I can't remember off the top of my head. Rabbi was going to have to help me on this one.
Were you saying, did you say Deuteronomy 2:7? Is that what you said?
No.
Yeah, I think it's around there somewhere, but it's basically, as I read it, don't even help idolaters.
Oh, so you're saying the content of it would be don't do anything to assist someone who's an idolater?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Rabbi, do you know?
I was out here thinking, I was like, but if my Christian friend, for instance, questions me on something and I give him some information, is that not helping? So, do you see what I mean? So everything that you and Rabbi are doing, does that not contradict?
Well, okay, so Rabbi, I do understand what you're saying, and part of me is like, let's just say this: say the neighbor's praying because their electricity got shut off, but they're praying to their God to help them. But then we come along and help them, then their God answered the prayer. So not the generous person who is following Torah helped them, but they will perceive that as Jesus helped them because Jesus answered their prayer by sending us to them to help. So that's one angle, and I've been thinking about that for years myself. We even slightly discussed it on one episode, but it was very brief. So I guess the question would be: if you know somebody is practicing idolatry, and especially if you know that they're praying for help in some situation, should we help them or should we let them wait and call on God first, the true God?
But even if they're not asking for help, if you go to them and say, look, kind of what you're doing is wrong, this is the truth right here, is that kind of helping them, and would that be breaking the rule?
Okay, gotcha. No, are there guidelines on helping somebody who's in idolatry? That's basically the simple way of describing the question. Okay.
Does it go against that commandment?
Okay, great. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate the call, man.
Take care, guys.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely an intriguing question. I mean, there's been times where I've been reluctant to help others because I knew more intimately on how they were approaching their need or their whatever, and I felt like it would be wrong to help them because they'd be giving the wrong credit to the wrong God. So I don't know. What do you think?
It's what I think is rather unimportant. It's what the Bible teaches and what Jewish law conveys, and I'll sum it up really simple. It is the Torah tells us in Leviticus chapter in Leviticus 19 verse 14 that it is forbidden to put a stumbling block before the blind. And therefore, if you know that something you're going to do, of course, Leviticus, this prohibition is very famous. Of course, it means in a plain sense that you shouldn't put a stumbling block before the blind. But the Torah is going further. The Torah is saying be very careful not to do anything that would cause another person to sin. And there's another passage in addition to that, the Torah says that you shall surely rebuke your amisecha, your friend, but the sin should not be upon you. And what I want to do is I want to just look at those. So those actually both passages are in the book of Leviticus. One is in chapter 19, verse 14. One is 19, verse 17. It's not an accident that these are all put together. Let's talk about Jewish law for a moment. So if one lives around people who worship idols, and they have really simple. They have some sort of holiday where they worship idols and they have to buy sacrifices and offerings. You're not allowed to buy or sell from them before their holidays so as not to contribute and not to sustain their abominations. So we're not allowed to do that. Not only that, the Torah says, very interesting thing, you shall surely rebuke your fellow men. And then the Torah says a very interesting thing. The modifier is and you should not bear the sin. This is a very interesting thing. What does that mean? You should not bear the sin. Torah is saying you can't be quiet. So what does it mean you shouldn't bear the sin? So there's two meanings to this. One is that if you are silent, then you bear the responsibility of what that person is going to do. You must speak. However, there's a secondary meaning, and that is that you have to be careful how you speak to somebody. If a person, I see it all the time. I don't really read I don't often read the comments on YouTube on the shows that I do or on other networks that I do. But when I do, I have to shut them off. I have to just click it off because people say, use such invectives and curse each other and say, sometimes they may be technically correct, but they say the most horrible things to each other. There's no doubt that the person on the receiving end of this rebuke will not only not reconsider their position, but they'll surely make them more stubborn. So if you want to correct someone, you have to do it with great care and love. For me, it's easy because originally, when I first got involved in the work of helping Jews in the church, I didn't care for Christians very much. I didn't care for non-Jews very much. Growing up in the 60s was not, Gentiles didn't rate high on, but later on in life, I met people who are not Jewish, who are just really beautiful people and genuine, sincere people. And I realized that most of the Christians I was meeting were very, very nice people. They were just, this is what they were raised in. So you have to have a lot of care for them. They don't intend to rebel against God. So the answer is that you can't do something that would encourage idol worship of any kind. This goes much further in Jewish law, but I'm not gonna overwhelm the show. I'll keep it light. But this is a very big issue in doing business with idol worshippers. We can't have partnerships with idol worshippers, particularly before their holidays, because we will then enable them to buy their sacrifices, and then we're putting a stumbling block before the blind. I'll tell you one very quick story. I don't think I'll offend anyone. I hope not. But I'll tell you a story. So I spent my entire adult life speaking to Christians, but I didn't really spend much time speaking. I never spoke to Hindus. Not that I never spoke to Hindus, like you're in a taxi, whatever, you meet someone. But I'm an avid scuba diver. It's all I do. Meaning what's all I do is it's the only extracurricular, it's the only thing I do besides studying Torah, teaching Torah. Movies bore me to death. I can't stand sports. Doesn't interest me, the whole thing. But diving, I'm a master diver. I've logged thousands of dives, probably. I live in Jakarta, Indonesia, the capital, this fourth largest country in the world. And I'm very fortunate that Bali is an hour and a half flight from here. That means, and the flight costs $45. For some reason here in Southeast Asia, flying is very cheap because there are 17,000 islands. Whatever it is, it's very inexpensive. You could fly from Jakarta to Bali for $50. It's very inexpensive. So I go as much. I wish I can go more. Here's the story. I go to Bali, and I go to my favorite part of Bali, and that's where the Liberty wreck, a World War II shipwreck, is, a U.S. wreck that was torpedoed by the Japanese. It's very, very famous. And in Bali, this part of the island has a lot of macro, which means that there's exquisite life, very high biodiversity, water temperature of 94 degrees. It's just fantastic. But because it's not a place you're going to go to see dolphins. It's a place you're seeing these tiny, magnificent creatures. You need a guide. You need a dive guide just to point it out to you, because these creatures, these marine animals, are expert in camouflage. And there's a seahorse, you'd never see it. Now, I'm on my way. So what happens is we're at the resort. Okay, we have to travel for, let's say, 10 minutes on the back of a pickup truck. We've got our wetsuits on. Our dive kit is all set up, and we're both sitting on the back of a pickup truck, and the pickup truck is taking us to one of the really a world famous shore dive. And as we're driving on the back of the 4x4, it's him and I. We're passing through. If you're from Brooklyn, it's like a jungle. It's not really. It's just an open pasture, and there's a whole bunch of pigs there, and they're making the sound that a pig makes. And he said to me, "You see those pigs?" He says, "Tomorrow we're going to eat them." I said, "Really?" Well, in Jewish law, it's not a problem. He's not Jewish. He's not obligated to eat kosher or to refrain from eating pork. But at one point, Bali is an island that is almost entirely Hindu, and very, very devout Hindus. I mean, very religious. And they have these really nice people. But every house has statues. Almost every house has an altar where they bring, don't ask what's going on. It's a very religious place, and there's offerings going on, idols everywhere, which is problematic in Jewish law. Problematic because you can't even make a blessing anywhere, because you're always standing with statues everywhere. The point is the following. And I said, "Really? Tomorrow you can eat those pigs? What's the deal?" He said, "There's this Hindu holiday to some god, and we eat these pigs. They're going to be slaughtered, and we eat them."
Wow.
And we just each eat a little bit of it, and the whole community is a big festival. We're going to eat these pigs as part of our offering to some god, some Hindu god. I'm sitting there, and the Torah is going in my head. Here I am. I'm wearing a 5mm wetsuit. I've got my dive kit all set up. I've got my mask sitting on my head. Here's this rabbi, and here's this Hindu guy. Nicest fellow in the world. Nice, nice, nice. And I'm going, to my head, I'm going, what do I do? That means I have to say something to him. He is created in the image of Hashem. But I don't know the sensitivity that Hindus have. I don't know if I say to him that there really is one Hashem and you shouldn't bring offerings to all these other gods, maybe he'll, I don't know, flip. Not that I'm worried that he won't take me diving or he'll be angry at me, but maybe it'll be counterproductive. I don't know what their sensitivity is. Is it okay? Is it not okay? And we're on the back of this 4x4, just bouncing along, traveling towards a shore. I think it's called Coral Beach, traveling towards the shore. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because I hang around more Christians than the Pope, but I never hung out with Hindus. I did a little here there, but I don't know about how sensitive they are about their religion. Is it offensive or not? But I knew that this is a child of Hashem, that I had to say something. And I knew that if I said nothing, that Hashem would require it of me. But this is very interesting. Now, I know you're thinking, Rabbi Singer is worried. He gets up on television, on radio, and he speaks around the world condemning Christianity. But that I do because Christians are trying to convert Jews. So I'm responding to very serious charges made against the Jewish people by the church. If Christians never try to convert Jews, I'd never pick up a Christian Bible. But Hindus are not trying to convert Jews. In fact, Hindus believe that, they're kind of a relativist religion, where they believe that if you're Jewish, it doesn't mean that you're going to So I'm just sitting there and I'm looking at him, and I finally just say to him, Rick, I don't know what to do. I want to say something to you. And I know this guy a while. We've dove together many times. And I said, I need to share something with you. Is it okay? I don't want it to offend you, please. But I want to say something to you. I was stumbling and mumbling because I never dealt with this. I never had this conversation with a Hindu. I've lectured for Hindus who asked them questions, but I didn't know this is offensive. It's not offensive. Will they get? And I just said, I in my mind, I just said to God, please give me wisdom. Please guide me here. But I knew that if I just went diving with him, and I didn't say a word, that the Almighty would hold me, that I would be held accountable by God. I knew it. I knew that God would not is not going, what a pleasure. This fellow, created the image of Hashem, is worshiping idols, and Tovia Signer, a Jew, didn't even say a word to say anything. I knew there's sometimes you just know right and wrong. So, but I'm a person that, I know it sounds crazy, I never get in anyone's face.
Right.
Evangelicals trying to convert me, so I'm respond. They are constantly attacking Judaism, so it's fair game to respond, and that's okay. Anyways, to make a short story long, I just turned to him and I said, I hope this doesn't offend you. May I say something to you? I said, there is only one God. There is no other. And he is one. And everything that you see, the fish in the sea that we're about to encounter, all these creatures that you see, everything, the heavens and the earth and the stars and all of its hosts, is from one Hashem. And that Hashem loves you very much. And shouldn't, and again, I'm apologizing, I'm going, you shouldn't be partaking of offering to other gods. And you should only worship the one God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I hope I didn't offend you. And he smiled at me. And he said, it's okay. He was trying to calm me down because I felt so scared that I was going to hurt his feelings. And he said, I will worship one God. And he promised me that he wouldn't worship these gods or bring offerings to them. And we stay in touch. And since that day, he has never partaken. He's never partaken of any sacrifices to foreign gods. But so there's the answer to the question. The answer is awesome. That one, you can't be silent, but be careful.
Very good.
That's all they know. Okay,
that's
so
good.
Just be careful, be gentle. And the way to do that is to think about, mindful that you're raising up God's name. If you do it that way, rather than my team has to win, you'll find that Hashem will give you wisdom.
Very good.
So thank you for that question.
That's awesome. Okay, we'll go and take on this next caller. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling from. Hello, are you with us? By the time
Hello.
Hi, how are you? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Brianna.
Hi, Brianna.
Hello. So I had a question.
Would this be my Facebook friend, Brianna?
Pardon me?
Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, is this the Bruce Brianna?
Yep.
See, I knew that voice sounded familiar. It's been a long time since we talked, but thanks for calling in. Okay, go ahead, Brianna.
So I just wanted to say, how much I've enjoyed your videos, Rabbi Singer. My husband and I both, we enjoy them immensely. They're just amazing, and they've helped us out a lot in this journey that we've been on. I wanted to, if that was okay, just give a little bit of background on us, about how we've been going through conservative conversion for over a year now, but, because there's no other synagogue here, God and Reform. And
Are you still with us?
yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'm hearing background noise.
Are you just out of curiosity? Do you have the computer playing right now?
No.
No.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead with your question. Go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay.
So, anyways, we've been on the Jewish conversion. We don't agree with the conservative movement, so we're trying to get out of that. And eventually, we want to, convert Orthodox. And we both have a lot of, as you know, William, especially my husband, we both have a lot of Jewish heritage.
Right.
His grandfather was actually, on his mother's side, was Jewish. We suspect his mom's mom was Jewish, but she won't really say anything, even though she grew up lighting Shabbat candles, etc. Well, our family is Christian, and we've been biting at the bit, trying not to tell them about what we've discovered. Because, according to Jews aren't supposed to proselytize. So that leads me to my question. Since if Israel is supposed to be the light to the nations, but doesn't proselytize, then how will the nations know they're in idolatry? Someone like our family, how will they know they're in idolatry? And according to Rabbi Singer, he said before, their soul is in danger. Didn't God send Jonah to Nineveh